This gentleman right here, I suppose.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. Thank you for keeping an eye out, Tennessee. Terry.
Glasses are just so everybody can understand. The glasses are wrong. Jaw structure is wrong. The
Hmm.
nose is wrong. The chest is wrong. Um, the age is wrong.
He looks older.
Yeah, that person looks well inside of their 20s, mid to late 20s. Um, weight, he's probably a little heavier than Sebastian was. So that person's probably around 140 to 150. Facial hair is very dark on his face. Now, granted, everybody's like, well, it's been 15, 16 months. Yes, okay. So keep that in mind. Sebastian had dirty blonde brown hair. So his facial hair is not going to be very dark. It's going to be very light. Um, yes, glasses can change. I understand that. Um, bone structure does not change.
Yeah.
And
Is that
that person in this picture is not pigeon chested like Sebastian is. So that's another thing. I mean,
something
if I had to guess right now, based on the time that surpassed the biggest changes about Sebastian, um, I mean, we go off the standard basics. His height has probably changed. His weight may have changed. His hair color may have changed. Uh, these are all things that one has no control over. Um, I mean, it's just genetics. I mean, it's going to happen.
No,
Bone
Sebastian?
structure really doesn't change. I mean, it'll grow larger, but it doesn't change in like the form in itself.
Right. Now it's like my son, his hair gets lighter in the summer. Does that happen with Sebastian as well?
Kind of, yes. If he's outside for a long time, yes.
Okay. And I'll never forget, I asked you this over on Truths, and honestly, I think it was one of the most, in my opinion, not to self-praise myself, but let me do it. It was one of the most beneficial questions and answers that I've ever heard is when you described identifying features about Sebastian, such as I believe you said the freckles.
Yes, Sebastian has freckles on his neck. There are three, maybe four predominant freckles. If you're looking at him, it's going to be your left, but it'll be his right hand side on the front of his neck. Um, his chest is actually very noticeable. He has pigeon chest, basically what it has happened is he has a cartilage that grows on one side of his chest faster than the other, and it kind of pushes out almost like one of the chest bones is sticking out farther than the other one. Um,
Oh, it's the
he's
first I'm hearing that.
so that goes back to one of the pictures I think somebody saw. He had a brace on, and that's what that brace was for. It was to help correct it. And then they're like, "Well, he's not wearing it." Well, that was Sebastian's choice. That was not ours. We
Right.
gave him the choice to wear it or not wear it. He decided not to wear it.
Now,
So,
if he's out there and hasn't been wearing it, would it be more prominent? Does it like in some of these photos obviously it's more prominent in other photos would it does that make it more prominent or no? Would it change it? It would just be the same.
that's hard to say because it could actually become more prominent as he got older. The bone grows, the cartilage grows. It can protrude a little more. It may not. It just kind of depends. Um, if his chest cavity actually spread wider, it may subtly like go down a little bit. We don't know.
Okay.
But that's just something the doc said. It's unless he would wear the brace or there is a surgery that he could have, but that's Sebastian's choice and he doesn't
Right.
want it, and I wouldn't force it on anybody. So,
Yeah, I
but
imagine that would be a difficult surgery. So there it is noticeable enough to the naked eye. I've never
yes, ma'am.
noticed it. Okay.
Yeah,
And then you said he's pigeon-toed.
yeah. He kind of runs on his when he runs. Seth describes it best because I don't watch anime.
Narado or whatever his name was.
Yeah, whatever that character's name is, a little ninja dude.
Yeah.
Sebastian runs like that. He kind of throws his hands behind him and leans forward, and he runs on his tippy toes, like on the balls of his feet and his toes. Um, when he walks, he does have one foot that kind of turns in a little bit more than the other one. Um, but I mean, those are very identifiable features on Sebastian.
Chris, does he run on his tippy toes and flap his arms behind him? His
He runs.
hands.
He runs like this on the screen. He has his arms behind, and yes, runs on his tippy toes. What
Yeah,
he just said
there
in
you go.
Narado. Here's an image of
Yeah.
him. Now, this is
That sounds
something that. Oh, is that how your boy runs too?
My grandson runs like that, yeah.
Now, this is a question that people have been asking. What was Sebastian on medication that were life sustaining?
No.
Okay.
The medication he was on, I'm not, so keep in mind, and I've heard people bitch complain about this when I say it's HIPAA. It is HIPAA because I'm not a biological parent, and Sebastian's of the age that we have to have written consent from him to divulge certain information. State of Tennessee law. Medications he takes helps with his helps regulate his behavior.
Right.
You know, it keeps him a little bit calmer. That's the best way I can explain that. Allows him to stay focused. Another one helps him at night sleep. So that's really about what he's on.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. He's not going to die if he doesn't have it, but it does make it a little bit more difficult for Sebastian for controllability,
Right.
and actually for some people to even tolerate children of that magnitude. Sometimes it's harder for people to, you know.
So that we don't. And how about his glasses? How did he need glasses? Like, was it very? Is he pretty? Like, I'm blind without contacts or glasses. Could Sebastian be going through day-to-day life without glasses, do you think, or?
He could.
Okay.
It's not. He needs his glasses. He has I don't remember. He has a hard time seeing. I think farther out. So I don't know if that's nearsighted or farsighted. I always get that confused.
So do I. I think
But he
it's the
also
opposite.
has.
I think it's considered nearsighted, which is weird.
Yeah, he has astigmatism. That's mainly
Okay.
what his glasses are for. Is astigmatism. He has a really bad astigmatism.
Chris, does he make noises? Does he like echolala noises? Like he or make a certain noise when he's stressed or
Not like in the form of a Tourette's. No.
not
It's
like
like Sebastian was very high functioning autism. That's
Yeah.
more. That's a different. I don't think he was on that spectrum of autism where he would make the noises such as you're thinking, Angel. But that's a great question. Yeah. See that.
No, Sebastian's very verbal. He is very high functioning.
Now, Chris, whenever you say high functioning and very verbal, with my son, he's autistic. Whenever he speaks, like he is high verbal and he does, function pretty good with his speech, but you can tell by his speech pattern that it's not a normal speech pattern. Is there anything like that with Sebastian that would stand out to folks?
In like what manner?
Well, like my son, like a lot of his verbiage and his nouns are backwards and stuff like that, and he doesn't say complete and full sentences. Like he'll speak in partial sentences if that makes sense.
No. Sebastian, his tone, his verbal expression is very normal.
Okay.
In fact, he actually started coming into his little one-line punchlines and getting his little one-liners in every so often. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, like the green tea.
Yeah. Or I might ask a question knowing that I know the answer, and I just ask the question, and he'd be like, it's this, duh. I'm like, all right, smart ass, got it, cool, thanks.
So
That's a
like,
teenager.
Yeah,
just
exactly. He was a teenager. He just had a little bit of quirks about him that are different from the average teenager. He had some personal struggles, but he's very high functioning. Like I said, he could play a 60-something-year-old man in a game of chess, and he beat him.
wow.
So, I mean, he's not by any means.
So in order, if like you walked up to him on the street, you wouldn't notice anything in his speech different from anyone else.
You would notice he has a thing about personal space. Like like he doesn't necessarily fully recognize the personal space. If you were to start talking to him like Naruto and stuff like, oh, he is like right up on you, like, hey, ooh, ooh, and he gets so excited, his eyes light up. But that's Sebastian. But I mean, if he doesn't know you, he probably doesn't talk to you. He'll probably like kind of turn his shoulder, like you're weird,
Right.
like instead of
Like a norm
himself.
again, like a normal teenager. Part of me, I know why they had to put the autistic teen in there, but I wish they hadn't. Because no disrespect to you ladies, but there's this stereotype being thrown on him, despite the fact that from early on it was stated he was fairly high functioning. He was newly diagnosed. His teacher said you would never know there was any diagnosis with him. But yes, people still envision their idea of autism onto him. And it's doing such an injustice to him.